First, the USDA's Justice for All non-discriminatory statement, which simply states that all persons must be treated equally without regard to their race, color, national origin, sex, religious creed, disability, age, political beliefs, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity, and that our institution provides an inclusive space for all. For more information on the And Justice for All statement, please visit the USDA's website.
Hi everyone, my name is Brian from FCHS, Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Gloucester County, here with another Family Foodie event. The program that we're doing today is made possible through a grant from New Jersey Department of Health and New Jersey SNAP-Ed. So for this week, we're going to be talking about portion sizes. For those of you that tuned in last time, we did basically healthy snacking, and we did a healthy, we did a guacamole recipe, we did a salsa recipe. So for this week's two classes, we're doing portion sizes. So this, for today's class, we'll do a trail mix, and then we'll be back Thursday with a fruit salad recipe. But let's get right into it. So we're going to start by talking about portion sizes, and when we go through these, I want you to think about how much you would typically eat when you eat these different types of foods. Alright, so we'll just go through the different sections that are on my plate here and go over what an actual portion size is. So for fruits and vegetables, it's real simple. Fruits and vegetables are going to be 1 cup for a serving, which is about the size of your fist. So if you make a fist, you remember that's 1 serving of a fruit, 1 serving of a vegetable. And typically that's just going to be for a fruit, you know, like the whole piece, like an orange, an apple. And then for a vegetable, you know, maybe like a whole like sweet potato would be a serving. But then when it's not the whole piece of fruit, you know, always remember 1 cup, 1 fist. Okay, then we have our grain group. So grain is going to be different depending what the food is. But for something like pasta or rice, again, that's going to be the size of your fist, 1 cup. For something like a piece of bread, bread, actually only 1 serving is 1 slice of bread. So if you ate like a sandwich, you're actually having 2 servings of that. For protein, so a lot of times when we think of protein, we think of meat like chicken or steak, right? So for protein, it's a little different. It's going to be the size of your palm, which is about 3 ounces. So not too much, right? So next time you go out to eat, you know, you order like a steak, you put your palm up to it, you can see you're probably going to have a lot bigger portion than that. But an actual serving size is only the size of your palm. For other protein foods, like maybe beans or lentils, that's going to be also that 1 cup serving. Again, we use our fist as an example for that. For something like peanut butter, yeah, that's only going to be a tablespoon is actually a serving. So we could just use our thumb for that. So your thumb, roughly about a tablespoon. So that would be a serving for peanut butter. Okay, and then we just have the dairy section to the side, right? So, you know, milk, about 1 cup would be a serving of milk. For cheese, it's about 1.5 ounces. So if you just hold your hand up, 2 fingers here, 1.5 ounces is about that size. So you can use your fingers as a guide there. So that's basically it for the serving sizes and portion sizes. So next time you're eating those kind of foods, you can think about, you know, how many portions you're getting. So a lot of times, if you just have 1 portion of a food, you're still going to be hungry. So it's always good to, you know, try to incorporate a serving size or a portion from one of the other food groups on here, right? So you make sure your diet's nice and well-rounded. So we'll talk about some tips for portion control in just a bit, but let's get into the recipe this week. So this is a real simple recipe. It's only going to take like a minute to make. I have everything already portioned out for you. But this makes for a great snack, especially if you're going out somewhere, you can bring it with you. First thing we're going to do is I have cashews here. You can use peanuts or walnuts, any type of nut that you want. I really like cashews, so I'm doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3/4 cup of cashews in the bowl. After that, I have some whole grain cereal. So whole grain cereal, you can pick, again, whatever type you would like. So I have just some whole grain squares here. So I'll go ahead and put this in. Again, I have 1.25 cup roughly of the whole grain cereal. Next up, I have some pretzels. About a cup of pretzels measured out too. We'll go ahead and pour that in. And then finish up, I do have some dried fruit. So I didn't mention this earlier, but right, if we're talking about portion sizes, again, for fruit, it's a little different if it's dried. So a portion size for dried fruit is only about a quarter cup. So, it takes all the water out, right? So a little bit less when you have dried fruit. For this recipe, we're going to be putting in about 1/3 of a cup of dried fruit. I have dried cranberries, but again, you can put whatever type you have or whatever kind you like. I like these ones. And then we'll finish up with just some dark chocolate chips. So again, I have about 1/3 cup of those too. So we'll go ahead and pour those in. And that is all of our ingredients. So we're just going to stir this up. So we have a nice little trail mix there. So you got a lot of good healthy stuff in there. And then you can just put this in a Ziploc bag or just an airtight container. And then you can bring it with you places. You can leave it at your homes, whatever you'd like to do with it. But it is good to go. So you see, really, really easy, quick, healthy snack everybody can make. All right, and then one thing I didn't really mention is serving sizes for snacks, right? Because we don't really have a section for snacks on my plate. So for snacks, it's going to be typically about, if you make like a cupped hand, kind of like that, it's going to be 2 of these would be a serving size for snack foods, like if you just had like pretzels or something along those lines. If you're having a snack food like peanuts or almonds, any type of nut really, it would just be 1 of these. So it just depends kind of what snack food that you're eating. Alright, so like I said, we are going to finish up with some tips for some, portion control. So the first thing is trying to use smaller plates and bowls. So typically when we eat, we just want to eat kind of whatever is in front of us. So if we put our food in, smaller bowls, smaller plates, we're more likely to eat smaller portions. So that's one strategy. Another one is to read the nutrition label on foods. So always good to check. So any processed food is going to have a label. It's going to tell you the nutrition facts on there, all the calories, all that information that we want to know. But everything is based off of 1 serving. So always good to check the serving size and just be aware how much you're eating, because you might actually end up eating more than 1 serving of the food. Another one is when you're out to eat or getting food somewhere, try and order smaller portions or just saving some for later. Bring that home with you so you don't overeat all at once. We usually eat a lot more than we typically would when we're out somewhere eating. It's always good to keep that in mind. And then when you're at home, don't recommend eating like something right out of the bag. Try putting it in a bowl first. You're more likely to be aware of your portions and consume a little bit less that way. Also, don't recommend eating in front of the TV. A lot of times we'll overeat when we're just watching TV and eating. And the last one is to bring healthy snacks with you places. So this recipe here, right, there's a great easy one you can bring. So that way you don't, buy unhealthy food and, you're getting something that is really good for you and you're going to be able to stay full as well and not overeat. Alright, so I think that is it for the class today. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back on Thursday. We'll talk a little bit more about portion sizes and we'll do a fruit salad recipe. So hope to see everybody then.